Now, this function is going to move in files. And we're going to tell the user that we are generating train sets. How are we going to do it? We're finding in, we're going to use TQDM in order to show the progress. Inside the train set, we're going to move. And we're using, this is the original file, that's why it is pointing to the source path. And destination going to be the train path where we want it to be stored. File name. Okay. And so for instance, this is something like original dataset, category 3, image 233 PNG. And this is going to be dataset split, category 3. Oh, sorry, it's going to be train, category 3, image 233 PNG. Even though it could be actually changed because of the random function that we used earlier. But this is just to give you some kind of example of what we're trying to do in this one. Finally, copy this file to destination. And now we repeat this for the validation set. We're going to work with validation set with a tab we can replace, and here we would have to change this into the validation task we have, and that's all for this function. So now we're going to define the main function. In this main function, we are going to use Python Dictionaries in order to make this dataset splitter to work in any number of categories. So we're going to call it main. It needs, for instance, some parameters like what is the desired name of the folder where you're going to store the new images organized in train and validation, where the images are located, this is the source path, and obviously split size, how big you want to be training set to be, and how big you want it to be validation set. Same as before, you can create some comments for documentation, and we're going to call it this the main function. Remember that this is the decimal number, so it's going to be from 0, 0 to 1.0. in order to separate the validation sets where the original images are stored in categories. This is important. This means category 1 and so on. And the desired name for the new dataset, the new organized dataset. This will not return, this will operate. So I usually like to always point to where I am working through this function. I'm going to create a variable new dataset name that is going to receive the output name, and we are going to create dataset dictionary, an empty dictionary. And here we're going to make the magic so that we can have in this dictionary key value organized data structure, where the key value is going to be the category and the value is going to be in fact the path. So for category inside the source path, so in this line I'm going to have all the folders that are categories inside the source path. The list here helps me to enlist or have a list of all these folders inside the source path. Then I'm going to fill the dictionary by using the category as a key, and these are going to be the values that I'm going to have. So I'm going to use it to have all the information here by creating another dictionary. This will help me to have some information additionally. Sorry. And here in TradePath, we are going to call the create folder function that we established before that had new path as a parameter, and this is the new dataset name, right? We had also the folder type, which in this case is going to be train, and finally the data class, which is going to be category. Okay, and we're going to also create a validation path by create folder function that we define, and this is going to be new dataset name. Folder type is going to be validation, right? And data class is going to be category, right? So this is how this for loop will aid us in creating the folders that are needed. So now we are going to actually split our dataset, and since everything is inside the dictionary that we have defined, it will be very easy to call the split data function that we have previously created by using again for loop for key in dataset date, and we're going to call it. Oh, sorry, that is moving awfully. So here, what we're going to begin to do is actually moving files. So here I have the key inside. We can print some information. So splitting category, we're going to show which category, so that the user will know what category is being reorganized at the moment. For this, we have key, right? We call the split data function. And we notice that we have some parameters like source path, and the source path is going to be dataset date key source, right? And we're going to have the train path that is going to be dataset date key train path, and the validation path is going to be dataset key validation path, right? And finally, the last parameter, split size, which is split size. Okay, and we can finally report that dataset generated at, so that we know where it was created. And this is the final location for dataset. As you can see, the main function is pretty simple, and the dictionary has helped us to have all the information inside of one type of data structure, and we use it to work with a split data function in order to organize our datasets. Finally, we need to call the main function, otherwise this does not work. So here Python helps me with this. And inside here I'm going to call the main function. But previous to that, I'm going to add some functions that I can manipulate from the command line, so that I can define the output directory name that I want, and I can also manipulate the split size number from the command line. So that, as you can see, I'm not using predefined values. In order to do that, I'm going to define a parser using the argparse library. And this is pretty easy. Parser, add argument, and our argument is going to be, for instance, this would be the short version. And we can also define a help so that you can tell the user what needs to be coded here. Write the name of the desired output dataset folder, right? This is the first function. And next, we're going to make something similar for the split size. So the long control line is going to be split size. The short is going to be speed. The type is going to be float in this case, and the help is going to be the decimal number between 0.0 and 1.0. Obviously, we should reject 0.0. This value should not be permitted because actually the program as it is being written at this moment is going to allow any kind of decimal value here. We have not written a restriction to this value, but it would be good to add that restriction in the main program, or even better in the split data function. We should check that probably the split size value is between something bigger than 0 and smaller than 1.0. Okay. Finally, we need to tell where our dataset is located. So it's going to be the source tier. The type is going to be string, and the help is going to be the location where the images is created are located. Okay. Then we need to write this arguments. And we finally call the main function, not the main function, this main function that has output tier name that's going to be args that output tier name, right? The source path It's going to have args, source, dir, and the split size is going to be args split size. And there you go. Now all that you need to do is in console by using the terminal we can use the program. For instance, in this case I'm going to just print the helping functions that we just wrote so that I know what I have to use as arguments. It's kind of interesting that we can add here in the split size a default value. This could be handy. And we can say, for instance, that the default value is going to be 0.7. So that in case that the user did not define what is the split value, you have a way to organize information without any errors. And thanks for watching. We're going to use this program in the next video so that you can see that it actually works. What we're going to do is to create another folder here that is going to be called the data source, and we're going to locate here the original data set that is predicted. And next we're going to just use this function, this script called dataset split in order to reorganize the images, in this case according to train and validation. Thanks for watching.